Buyer Beware. The special horse saddles is next up in the Buyer Beware series, and I think this is going to be one of the more interesting out of the series so far. And hopefully, from this information in the video, you guys can make your own decision on whether you think these are going to be worth it or not. So welcome and thanks for joining. Originally this video was about 25 minutes, but I ended up narrowing it down to about half that time. I didn't want to cut out too much information because I think it is really important to go ahead and show the proof. What I'm going to go ahead and do is test 3 different saddles on the Foxtrotter, and then I'm also going to use the Brindle Thoroughbred, test out a couple of saddles, and then we'll go ahead and see the results. Now the saddles I'm using are saddles that are upgraded saddles that unlock from the range of level 60 to 7, well, to about 80, and then special saddles which unlock from level 80 to 90. And particularly, I'm going to be using the Neller Dakota saddle. I'm going to be using the special Panther saddle and the special Cougar saddle that I just recently bought for this video. I'm also going to be showing you a technique for those of you that may not already be aware of it that will actually increase your stamina on your horse, just by this simple technique, and it does not matter what type of saddle you have or how much it costs. Now, when you look at stats for, say, something like core drain rate, it can be a little misleading because that really only has to do with the core. It does not have to do with anything to do with the fortification, which is the major factor in your horse's stamina and performance. So first up on the Foxtrotter, we're going to go ahead and use the upgraded saddle that I purchased for about 150. Now for all these tests, I am spamming the button the same speed, so all of them are going the same, and I am not using the technique to extend my stamina. We are taking the trip from the stable in St. Denis all the way up to Ansburg, and I'm going to go ahead and speed this process up, so I'll be back with you shortly. So here we are in Ansburg. My fortification ring is pretty much drained. We're going to end up getting to about this water tower here, and it's finally done. So you saw we took that trip from the stable in St. Denis all the way up to that water tower in Ansburg. I want you to go ahead and keep in mind that mark of exactly where we finished, and you'll see with the special saddles, it's going to be roughly in the same exact spot, which leads you to believe that special saddles are only for cosmetics and they really do not give you much of an upgrade bonus. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the special saddles, which unlock, like I said, between level 80 and up to about level 96. Now you'll notice some of them you can buy with cash, some of them you can only buy with gold, and this may also help determine which will be best for you if you feel like paying 16, 18, or 20 gold versus paying cash. I specifically had to grind like hell to get the last 6 gold bars to be able to buy the Panther saddle, and it took me a couple days doing stranger missions, and in reality, it wouldn't have mattered which one of these saddles I purchased if I was looking for strictly performance. Obviously, if you're looking for cosmetics, you like a certain one, maybe you're willing to go ahead and shell out the 20 or 18 or 16 gold versus the cash. But if you're looking just for performance, hopefully this video and these tests are going to prove to you that it really does not matter what saddle that you have. Alright, so here's where it's going to get a little misleading. If you look at that bottom stat where it says drain rate, it says negative 50%. Now it doesn't specifically say core drain rate or fortification drain rate, so it would lead you to believe that by getting these special saddles that you should be able to travel 50% longer than you could on any other saddle because of that bonus negative 50 drain rate. But I am going to show you that that is not necessarily the case because these saddles will perform the same as that upgraded saddle that I purchased down at level 60 or 70 depending on which one you get. So of course the core drain rate is going to be tested once we're finished and we get to our destination to see how long it actually takes for us to fill back up. And I'm going to do that with these next two. We're going to be testing the Cougar and then the Panther saddle after. So again, I'm going to go ahead and make sure my horses are fed and everything is done. I'm not going to go ahead and change up the pace. I'm not using that technique to increase my stamina. So we're going to go ahead and take this trip up to Ansburg, and it'll be interesting to see where we end, and I'll be back in a sec. So here we are back in Ansburg with the Cougar Special Saddle, and you're going to notice when that fortification ring drains that we are roughly at the same exact spot, if anything a couple feet shorter than the distance that we got with that upgraded saddle. Now keep in mind, I did spam the button the same for all of these tests, so isn't anything that I did differently. And I really can't explain on how a upgraded saddle that I purchased for about $150 to $200 down at level, I think it was like 65 or 68, versus a special saddle that was purchased for roughly, I think, $440. This Cougar saddle is the most expensive special saddle that you can purchase. The one before this one is a Panther saddle for 18 gold, and then you have the Rattlesnake saddle for 20 gold. That is, the last one that you can basically unlock in the game. So I can't really understand. Right now, we're going ahead and taking a look at the drain rate regeneration, and regardless of what saddle, it seems to be that they're all basically the same, even though the stats are different for all of them. So again, we're going to go ahead and take one more test with the Panther Special Saddle, which has some better stats than that Cougar Saddle. And for the life of me, I can't understand why these tests are showing up with the results that they have. I was surprised as hell, as well as I'm sure some of you guys are. We will go ahead and confirm this again when we test out the Brindle Thoroughbred with 2 saddles, an upgraded one, and also with the Panther saddle. So we can go ahead and confirm again. I will go ahead and feed my horse to make sure my cores and everything regenerated. And we're on our way with the last test for the Foxtrotter with the Panther saddle. Let's go ahead and see where we end and if we have different results. So I'll be back in a minute. So here we are again in Ansburg, and it's clearly safe to say that the stamina that your horse has to do solely with your stamina level that each horse has, and it has nothing to do with your saddles unless you are stopped. Then it comes into play when you're talking about regenerating. Now keep in mind, upgraded saddles and stirrups will give you an increased speed and acceleration bonus, and you can see those as you unlock the new ones. And also the special saddles do come with upgraded stirrups, so you will have the extra speed and acceleration added onto your horse. So we're going to sit here and see how long it takes to regenerate. It may go slightly faster with the upgraded with the special stirrups, because you do have the bonuses for regeneration for your core and that that negative 50% drain rate. But I would think that these saddles, for the price that you pay, would give you an increase on the distance that you can travel regardless of what your horse's stamina level is, but that is not the case. So again, I want to reiterate, you are buying special saddles specifically for cosmetics only. So take that into consideration whether you're spending cash or gold. So next up, we're going to go ahead and check out that little technique that I mentioned that maybe some people don't know. And you'll see by my fortification ring there, every 3 to 5 seconds, if you go ahead and push in your left joystick, you will notice that you will get about a 15, maybe 20% increase for your stamina. So with almost any saddle, you have the ability to go ahead and travel at a further distance to the point where you really don't need to stop. So now we're going to go back into the stable. We're going to take out my Brindle Thoroughbred that has the same speed and acceleration stats as the Foxtrotter. And we're going to check this one out with that upgraded Nakota, or Nakota Dakota saddle, or whatever the hell it is, a Nella Dakota saddle. And obviously this one's not going to be able to travel as far because you see the fortification ring is pretty low compared to the Foxtrotter. But we will do this test with that upgraded saddle, and then we will come back and do it with the Panther saddle and see how these results play in. But just a little spoiler, they're going to be similar to the same type of results that you got with the other saddles in the test with the Foxtrotter. So again, we'll take the trip, and I'll be back with you guys shortly. So with the Brindle Thoroughbred, of course, we're not going to be able to travel the same distance. We are in about the Van Horn area. because this brindle thoroughbred does have roughly about half the stamina level that the foxtrotter has, and that is why we're ending here. But you can see a little bit before that little bridge coming up in front of us, we ended up running out of stamina. So we're just going to go ahead and sit here and see how long it takes for our fortification to regenerate. Again, it's going to be similar to the test with the foxtrotter. It's not going to be much of a difference between the upgraded saddle versus the special saddles. So you really aren't getting much of a performance boost for the special saddles, even though they have a much better, percentage boost for those. Again, I don't know how many times I can say it, but you're specifically buying those special saddles just for cosmetics, so definitely be aware of that. So here we are back inside the stable. We're going to go ahead and switch to the Panther Trail Saddle, and then we're going to go ahead and finish, and this will be the last test of these saddles. And you'll see that this is going to basically, again, be determined by your horse's stamina, and the saddles are not going to have any kind of influence on your trip while you're moving. They may have a slight increase while you're standing still at regenerating. So again, we'll go ahead and take this last trip, and I'll be back with you guys shortly after the results. So now we just finished the last test of these saddles. Hopefully this can confirm for you that, what I'm saying is true. You will not get any kind of a bonus for your special saddles. And, they're basically cosmetic. So keep that in mind when you're purchasing them and when you make that decision. Now in this last clip, I'm going to go ahead and show you again that little technique where you can go ahead and push in the left joystick every 3 to 5 seconds so you can regenerate about, say, 15 to 20% stamina. I want to take this time to thank you guys. The Buyer Beware series has been very popular. I really appreciate you guys' support. As I said, I might be back on doing some more tests for the new stuff that came out in Red Dead today. So again, man, I really appreciate all the support, especially over the past month. Hopefully this video helped you out. Leave some comments on your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.